Hey friends, I'm back. Oh yeah. So I've been changing the words on that one song and I've been singing all day. Walk in the room and love everybody and me. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe I'm on right now. And it's not because things are going great. So those that are like, you gotta tap into your shadow side and work on yourself. I've worked on myself a lot. If I didn't work on myself, I'd be so far worse off than I am right now. Today I want to address, I seen this TikTok video and it said victims will talk about their journey and villains will talk about the victim. I'm going to give you guys a brief glimpse into my life. I am somebody that works in accounting for corporate America. I'm great at computers, typical Aquarius technology. I've been a medical coder, a medical biller, done a whole bunch of stuff. And let me tell you, I'm starting over at a new job. I'm 31 years old. I have no house. If anybody out there wants to anonymously give me like $1 million, I will accept it. My Venmo information is on my YouTube channel. Life is such a ride. I try to be positive, but sometimes I just wake up and I see something that just ruins my morning, tries to ruin my morning, but I'm not letting it. And I had a coworker from my last job that I left 2 months ago due to spiritual bullying. And she told me, yeah, there was this thing going around that you applied to my position. I'm sorry I got it and you didn't. I'm like, what? I never applied to your position. If I wanted, my resume is great. If I wanted a position, I applied to like a handful of positions. I got offers on every single one of them, and I chose this one because I really liked the values of the company that I work for. But I've been gone from this employer for 2 months now, and they're spreading lies on my name. And let me give you a backstory. I've worked for some people that are like salary positions, and they've caused me to have to work like 60-hour weeks, because I had no kids while they went home early. I've worked some positions where I didn't find out until a weekend that the person that I was replacing had committed suicide due to the stress of the job. And within a couple weeks, I kind of knew why. I just keep getting by life. All I want is to have a home and be a mom and build my life. And it's like every single time something takes it all away. Well, this last job, I was there for 1.5 years, and I really liked it because they were serving the underprivileged population of the community. And it really struck with the humanitarian side of my personality. And while I loved the job, that was the only reason that I stayed. Because the amount of spiritual bullying I dealt with on this job was so bad. I should probably, I'm not going to go there. I'll let the divine take care of it. But on this job, I was open about my spirituality, not like going and sharing it with people, but I'm not going to hide who I am. I'm going to wear my spiritual jewelry. If you ask me what I did on my weekend, yeah, I did a psychic gallery, Well, these people would come out with rumors like I was putting spells on them and I'm a witch, and I don't play with that dark stuff because anybody that knows anything about spirituality knows how this energy works. And I will control my own energy and do work on myself, but my ancestors got my back when it comes to other stuff. I don't play it. I stay out of it. I'm here to do God's work, and that's it. Well, this last job, they really went to an ultimate low. So the boss that I had previously, they couldn't make it work with anybody. And when I got into the position, within the first 3 days, my coworkers are like, yeah, our boss is a narcissist. He plays with people's minds and he will tear you down until you're nothing and just see you squirm. And I'm like, this ain't the first narcissist I came across. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to judge people just because other people say something. So I went in with an open mind. I was nice to this person. And he would just mock me on everything. And then he would get other people in the company to say, oh, we don't believe in that stuff, and call it witchcraft and negative energy work. And it got to a point where he was in a managerial position, and because of his position, he was able to get a lot of people to side with him, because it's easier to not believe in spirituality than it is to admit that maybe you've been treating people poorly in corporate America. And so I dealt with this feeling this morning, like, they're still talking about me. They're still spreading lies on my name. And I want to say, I go into life with this energy of, I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm going to live my life and try to be kind to everyone, because I know the energy, it's got to come back, right? And when this fell through at my last job, I had a real breakdown. I'm like, I'm putting in all this hard work spiritually, and it's like everything keeps getting taken from me by people. I had a real talk with God, and I'm like, God, I know that you have blessings for me, but people keep coming in between me and my blessings. And if people had to say, I would never see anything, because they don't want to see a person like me win. They have a house, they have a family, they have everything that I could want, but they want what I have that they can't get. And that's my light. That's my heart. And so to make them feel better, they tear down my beliefs. They tear down my spiritual calling. Call it, witchcraft and negative energy work, because instead of addressing that they have things in themselves that they need to work on, they rather make me out to be a bad person. And when I left this job, it really hurt, because I was a spiritual friend to a lot of people. I mean, I don't know if this last job could say anything that I had ever said negative about anybody, because I don't talk poorly on people's names. And yet, there's a million things that you hear about me. It got to a point where I had to leave at the end because I was abused as a child, and some people knew this. And they were going around saying, give it time. She was hurt as a kid, so she's going to hurt other people. And that's when I'm like, this isn't healthy. They're going for my jugular now, like, they couldn't dim my light, because for a year and a half, while I was dealing with this spiritual bullying from my own manager, team, company, like a place that I really I was kind, because they couldn't get me to fall and turn into the story that they wanted to make of me, so that they can make excuses for how they're being to people, saying, oh, well, see, this is a spiritual person and they can't even live a nice life. Well, I was, and they couldn't make me crumble. So they went for my jugular and my past and things that I had no control over as a kid. I didn't have control over the abuse I went through. And they started coming out with that stuff. And I told my manager, I'm like, I'm putting my 2 weeks in. Bridges are burned. I'm finding a different position. Well, before I could even get out of the company, my coworker had lied and falsely accused me of something. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm not coming back to this energy every day. I left with love and light. I didn't say one bad thing about people. I just walked and I never looked back. And I've done this to so many things in my life. And it's not me disassociating. It's me realizing my energy is something special. You don't find people that come to you every day in life and want to treat you well. You don't find people that come to you every day and put in 100% when you're throwing everything at them that would make you crumble and fall, but you pile it up. I mean, I had this manager, he knew I had PTSD, and he would say things about my character. I wanted to be a leader in the company because people tend to follow me because I speak the truth and I want what's best for people. And he didn't like how many people liked me. So that's why, part of the reason why he talked so poorly on my name. And I wanted to be a leader, and he came out with a million things wrong with me. I mean, not one good thing about me, even though I have a million good things. Even though I show up early to work every day, I'll stay late, I work hard, I get my job done, I'm a great person, but this remind you, somebody that hasn't made it work with anybody before me. And somebody that the company was warning me about my first week. Well, my heart kind of broke when I heard this today from my friend, because I'm glad that she came to me about it and that she could clear things up with me and give me a chance to speak my truth. But the thing that hurt me is, why are people so easy to believe that the spiritual person, the one that's the little Buddha at work, is a villain? It's like people are trying to push this story on me like, oh, well, she didn't do this, or I would have people come to me and try talking about people just to see if I would talk about them too, and I don't. I don't. I will tell people straight up, I don't like talking about people. It's bad juju. And they would try to catch me and things like that, and I wouldn't give to it, and it made them angrier. It's like then they tried harder with the vindictive, like with the... I just kind of felt like they were trying to make me out to be something that I'm not. And 2 months later, I moved on into this new job, and they don't mock me for my spiritual beliefs. They let me believe what I want to believe. I mean, I come into work every day early because I like to get there early. And I pull myself some tarot cards every morning, put it on my desk, and just work throughout the day, accounting. And nobody says anything about it. When I'm having a hard moment, I press my positive energy button that comes with like 160 pre-recorded phrases that have positive quotes and everything. And people don't judge me for it. And I had a coworker reach out to me asking me how I'm doing, and I'm like, I'm really happy to be in an environment now where I can be who I am and not attacked for it. I had to ask my manager one day because he would mock everything about me that made me spiritual. And I had to look at him one day and I'm like, what about my love and light really bothers you? Like, you say you don't believe in what I believe in, but all I believe in is loving others. Like, you don't believe in that? And no, because sometimes with corporate America, like, I've just noticed, like, they get ahead by throwing people under. And I'm not playing that game. And when I wanted to be a leader in their company, that's when they really went for my jugular, like pulling out my past. And it's like they don't want people like me in spiritual leader or a spiritual person in a leadership position, because I inspire other people. And I look at people, I'll look at people and I'll be like, that's a great color on you. One person was putting themselves down the other day at work, and I'm like, you're great at a lot of things. And she just looks at me and she's like, thanks. And it hurt my heart because I feel like she doesn't get complimented very often. And so I want to be that person that makes people feel better. And he told me he didn't think I'd be a good manager because I can't be too soft. And I'm like, maybe that's what we need in this world. Maybe we need some kindness and compassion in those people in leadership positions. But 2 months and I'm gone from this job, and they're spreading lies on my name, saying I applied to positions I never applied to, saying I did this, and I'm putting spell work on people and witchcraft. And it's like, now that's your karma. I don't want to say that because I have no control over karma, but like, I did not have any bad intentions to you, and you did me so dirty. What did you think was gonna happen? Like, I'm not putting spell work on you. I know how energy works, but you brought them demons on yourself. Like, I hope you learn your lesson and you treat the next person that comes across your, path, and they treat you with love and kindness. I hope you don't try to villainize them, because that's what some people do. It's much easier to make the person that's kind out to be the villain instead of looking at the person that's bullied people from the very get-go. And they praise this person because they fear him. And I didn't fear him. I didn't. I'd go toe to toe, and, he'd put me down for this and that. And so I finally, I told him, I'm done with your games. I'm going to take a 15-minute break, and we can come and talk about this afterwards. But I'm not playing this stuff. Because he'd pick out little things about me, and blow it into a huge issue. And it wasn't an issue. It was just finding fault in everything I did. And I'm so glad I'm out of that unhealthy position, because I feel free. And while I'm starting over and I have no money to my name, I don't have a house, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to have kids in time, before my hours give out on that job. But I'm starting over. I'm struggling. I know my darkness. I know my demons that I fought through. And I fought so hard to keep my morals. And That's all I'm walking out of this with, is my morals and my heart and hopefully some good karma. But it gets really hard when I'm out 2 months, and people are still spreading lies. Like, I really triggered you. Like, I left seeds. And, one thing that they can't forget is who I was. Because you can say whatever story you want, but one day you got to admit the truth that you did good people dirty. You're ruining the lives and livelihoods of these people that want nothing but us all to be good to each other. What about that did you find the need to bully? He got the HR lady at my job to side with him. I would go to people and I'd be like, I appreciate you, because I think, I told this new job in the interview, I'm like, I believe in being kind to each other because the world is hard enough. We don't need to make it harder on each other. And he mocked that. And the HR lady would go to people and be like, I appreciate you, in a mocking tone. She'd belittle people for their weight. They were just so nasty. And I found out last week that she put in her resignation. And I don't know the full story. But it's not my problem. At this point, I'm not putting spell work on anybody. Karma is, for every action, there's a reaction. And I was good to a lot of people. And the only thing I can hope to come out of it, even though I'm been in life by this, I have to start all over. The one thing I hope these people learn is that there are good people in the world. And you can't just condemn somebody because of their beliefs. You can't just condemn people, because of what they practice. Let them practice what they practice. And if they had looked away from what I was practicing and what they didn't believe in the whole time, they would have realized that there was a good friend, a good employee right in front of their faces. And so this whole, 2 months since I left this place, I haven't talked poorly about them. But my name's in their mouth, and I feel my energy called so much. And thank goodness I have good protective boundaries and a good spirit team. I come from royal bloodline. I'm related to Queen Marie Antoinette. And I have Egyptian blood in me, Syrian bloodlines, Irish, British and all that. And I have strong ancestors. Like, I'm talking ancestors that you don't mess with. And so I really don't want to see karma come back around for people, but I don't really have a say in it, And it's just some of these people that want to believe these people because they fear them. Look at who is talking about who. I'm out here talking about my journey, and they're out there talking about me. And that video said, victims will talk about their journey and the villains will talk about the victim. And, these people are going to remain in control as long as we let them have that freedom to do that. We keep putting these people in powerful positions and managerial positions, and then they hurt people. But you don't allow people like me in a leadership position because I look young and I'm a female and, I'm too soft. Like, I think I'd help a lot of people if put into the right position, but nobody gives people like that a chance. They just want to out them because they're different. And I really hope we start looking past our differences and start accepting people for who they are and not their beliefs and not their color and not their, whatever. Like, we're humans and we need to be kind to each other. And, it's really hard making it in corporate America, but I'm really hoping that with the age of Aquarius, things start turning around and we start being kinder to each other. But that's my vent sesh for today. Thank goodness it's Friday. Walk in the room and love everybody and me.